Hi everyone, Allison Gardner here, and today I want to share something that might seem a little unexpected when talking about depression. If you had asked me 4 years ago what would be the thing that would hurt the most, that would cut the sharpest, metaphorically speaking, and would really make me dig deep, most people would assume that that would be the suicide attempts or the suicidal moments, because that's what we talk about a lot. We talk about how to support people in the big moments, if they're talking about it, if they're making a plan for it, if for all you know, intents and purposes, they are walking out the door to do it. What do you do? And people, some of you might be saying, "What? We don't talk about that." That is at least more on the rise. We are more open. We have the hotlines. We even do trainings at my work about, like, if someone comes to you and they say this is what they're struggling with, this is kind of the step-by-step process. You get them help, you do these things. And those are scary, and they can be overwhelming and terrifying even. But those are just a brief part of what someone is going through when they're struggling with depression, or any mental illness, because those are the big moments. Those are the headline moments, if you will, but it's the small print that are the things that cut the most for me. It's the day-to-day listening to the "I'm not good enough," the day-to-day, and I use that phrase because I am still trying to be so careful, but it's consistent negativity, it's the sarcasm, it's the day in and day out, I'm never going to be good enough, the day in and day out, I can't live up to people's expectations, or whatever it is that's at the core of the depression. There are certain feelings, I think, that depression rests on the most, and it's different for different people, but it's that repetition of just the negative. It's just never going to work out, it's just never going to be okay, or the no holding hands, or no touch, or hearing the voice in the other room saying stop it, to try and stem the negative voices going on. And these things hurt so much because of comparisons. The real battle of depression for me is fighting the comparisons in my own head. The comparisons of what I thought my marriage would be like, the expectations I thought relationships were about, how they functioned, what they did. It's seeing the couple in the next pew over holding hands, or listening to people talk about this cute, fun thing that just happened and realizing that will probably never happen in your marriage, because that's just not where your partner's brain is at. And coming to grips with the fact that that's okay, and that to be happy and to make the most out of your marriage is to make it your marriage, is realizing that your relationship, what you have together, is more important, and what you can build together is more important and stronger than what you see over on this other side, and what you see around you. And I talk about this in context of depression because that's how I see it, and realizing that it's not about lowering my expectations, but it's about putting my expectations in a parameter that is realistic. It's about accepting that there are things that I want because I actually want them and need them, and there is stuff that I want because I see that other people have them, and realizing that that's not a good enough reason. If it's a want, if it's a need, if it's something that is true to my core, then yeah, I better step up to the plate, and I better express that need. I better express that desire. I better share that hope/expectation. But if it's just something that I'm seeing over here, is it worth putting the strain into my marriage if that's not something that I personally want. It's just something that I've seen somewhere else. And so that's the battle that I face. That's what I do. Yes, the big scary times are big and scary. But the in the trenches battle, the living day to day, the overcoming your negativity because of unmet expectations, overcoming the negativity because you feel like your life is never going to be like what you thought it would be, or how you just get up every morning knowing that there is an air of negativity and a weight there you don't know how to cope with. And you can't. I mean, you can cope, but you can't fix. And sometimes the person that you love most is not in a place where they can fix it either. And so it's just moving forward and staying positive for each step forward. And it's having hope, even when it's day 50 or day 100. And that's just the space you're in. And you know you should be grateful because it's not bad, but you hurt because it doesn't feel right either. I hope that for those of you that are in this moment, you feel you're not alone, and that day 200 might not be day 201, and so there is hope that it can be better, and that as you shift expectations and you express need or desire, even when you feel like you're adding weight to that other person, go by the Spirit, share that need as you see fit, because sometimes they just want purpose. Sometimes they just want some way how they can serve, and you sharing that need might be the very thing that helps them. But go quite carefully, go intuitively and inspired, and then don't be afraid to open your mouth, because that might be the very thing they need. For someone on the outside of this, I hope that you see that it's the day-to-day. I'm always encouraged, share where you're at, share what's going on. It's really hard to put into words what it can just be like when it's just the level. The thing about depression is, yes, there are lows and there might be an occasional high, but usually, at least for my spouse, it's just slightly Eeyore for long periods of time. And how do you explain that? How do you explain? Because sometimes when you're trying to share that, people are like, well, aren't you glad that he's not down here? Yes, I am absolutely thrilled. But a dip down and a comeback up can be easier than just a low that stays. So I hope this is food for thought, and I hope you'll keep joining me on this journey this week about comparison, what to do with it, and what it is like to face it. And I will see you guys next time as we go on this journey together. Bye.